What's up guys, Matt here coming at you with another quick video. Today we're talking about this lap monitor system. This is something I picked up a while back. Been meaning to rebuild my dirt track here at the house, and the weather, the weekend I was planning on doing it, it decided to rain a bunch, so I didn't get it done, but still probably in the works soon, hopefully. I don't know if I'm gonna just wait till after winter, because I hate to build it and then it's just going to get destroyed through the winter, but we'll see. Definitely next spring, rebuilding the track. So I picked up this because I wanted to have a lap counting system, but I didn't want to spend a fortune on it, right? We also were working on the outdoor track here local, and didn't have any kind of tracking system out there. And I just kind of wanted something that I could time myself with, and also use maybe in the garage with these little guys. So these are the this is the K989 or whatever. It comes as the little rally car. You can see I swapped the body and stuff on it, did a little work to it, and then even for the mini Bs. So I've tested it with these. Haven't got it out on a big track type setup yet. Hopefully I can do that soon, but so far it's did really well in the garage here, and a little bit outside on the concrete, but overall pretty pleased with it already. So really all it is this little thing here, and it runs off of 2 AAA batteries. I wish it had an on-off switch. I don't know, I guess it just kind of like shuts itself off, or if it just stays on, I don't know. I usually pull the batteries out of it when I'm not using it, because I'm not 100% sure on that. But and then these are your transponders basically. You can see here transponder ID is 76, so each one of these has a number that comes with it, and that is what you will look up in the app here in a second. I'll show you. So pretty simple little deal. So we'll pop this one out, and you can see here, if you lose your paper or get confused or whatever, there's a little serial number here, and the number for it is the last 2 digits on that. So 76 is this one, and you can see that's all that it is right there. So basically, like in this, since these have kind of an odd setup, they're an all-in-one ESC receiver. Back here in the back, your servo plugs in, and so I just put a little Y adapter that give me 2 plug-ins, and I ran my servo back into one of them and this into the other, and it's hooked up and ready to run. But I've had good luck with it inside of here, mounted just like that, and you can see that thing's it's pretty well covered up inside of there. So and I've not had any issues with it counting laps on that. And then in the buggy, I have it under the body here. You can see when the body's on, it's mounted right up front here. You know, I do try to point this looking out, so I haven't had much issue with that. We'll put that on later. But you get this little stand with it, and it works okay. It's not the greatest little stand, but it does what it's supposed to. There are many cell phone holder type things, and you can unscrew this and put it on a taller tripod if you wanted to. So if you were at a track that had a wall there or something, you could easily put this on a larger tripod and still be able to set it up. You know, most tracks have my laps, but they're not always running them, so if you're there and they don't have the system on, this is a great way to kind of track your own laps and keep up with your own stuff. I'm going to set this up and we will get some running. I'll show you a little bit of the app here. So what I did was put the app on my iPad. So it's lap monitor. So you're going to pull that up. And initially, I think you have to go connect to it. I'm not sure. I believe it. No, I think once you get the app, it does just like it does here. And once this thing's on, see it recognized it, this lit up, it's ready. So pretty cool little system inside the app here. And I've got limited time with this. I'm no pro at all, but I do like how you can do, so you can make a ghost racer, basically. So you can name it, whatever. So like what I did is, say I wanted to run 10 laps with this thing, I could run them, and then I could set my run as a ghost racer and then race against myself, trying to better myself. And as you make a lap, it makes the sound of a little ghost, kind of like, phew, and then it tells your time if you're behind, or it'll tell your time and then the ghost. So it's pretty cool. You can keep up with if you're ahead or behind. And here you can change all of your duration, lap times, countdown. You can do different for the practice, qualifying, and the race, or you can leave it all the same. So this is where you would add your car. So if this was going to be me, I can name it Matt for the drivers, and I connect this to my Bluetooth speaker so that when it's calling the laps, it's much louder. You'll see that in a minute. And then here's where you put your car ID. So this one is 78. And it should be ready to go. So that's going to pick up car 78 as me. So if you wanted to add another one, you could hit new driver, and then you would put in, like say this one, if this was in another little car, and do the same thing. You can name it whatever, and the car ID for it. So it'll register a separate driver for it. And then basically we're set up here. There's some settings. You can change the sound when locked, beep on lap, vibrate on lap. You can change the race start sound. I like Mario. You can have background music, and you can adjust that music. Then you can have announcements. So it'll announce, lap times, all of that sort of thing. It'll announce the rankings every minute, never, every 2 minutes, every 5 minutes, whatever. And then you can have all this stuff on the app if you want to show your average speed mile per hour, all that. So I keep it pretty simple. I've just been playing with this by myself. Haven't ran with multiple cars yet. I did like how I bought this with one transponder, receiver, whatever you want to call these, to start off, just to see how it worked. I bought 4 more after running it because I knew I didn't want to be switching it all the time. If I have 4, I can kind of juggle between some of my cars. And then one of my buddies wanted me to pick him up one to just have for him when I do get the track built. So that was pretty cool. It does take a couple weeks probably to get this stuff because I think it comes from like France or something. I don't even remember, but you can search lap monitor, and pretty good deal. I think my initial purchase was one of these and the monitor there, and I think it was around 130 or 40 bucks. And then I think these are, depending on how many you want to buy at once, saves you on shipping, but you can get them, I think, around 30, 40 bucks a piece. I'd have to look. Like I said, I've had this for a little bit and just been sitting on it. Wanted to get some actual track time with it, but hasn't worked out yet. So we're going to set this up and then we will start a race, and I'll show you guys how this runs. All right, guys, so you'll see I have the lap monitor set up here. And what I'm going to do is basically run an oval around this drain and just make an oval to make it simple. So you want to make sure that this thing, I'm pointing at it here, but not on the camera. You're going to make sure that you're not passing this twice. So if you set this somewhere where you're going to be coming up, going past it this way, turning and coming back past it this way, it could possibly read twice, depending on the, the space between it. I'm sure like if it's way across the track or something, it's probably not going to. Probably needs to be fairly close. We're gonna try to test that a little bit as well. I'm not sure how much room I have in here in the garage to test that, but we will put this thing way back here and see how far out it'll read. Haven't had any issues with that in the situations I've ran it in. So that's two things there. You know, you kind of want to make sure that you're not going to double cross it. And then I put it more in the straight, because if it's in the turn and somebody loops out, it could possibly, you know, catch them twice and mess with your lap times and all that. So you can see here, I set this up. One thing I did notice, if you're running very, very short, like I was just going like kind of around this thing to check my times, and it was getting a little confused with a super short lap time. So this situation here is about perfect. I didn't have any issues with it running this. And then all you're gonna have to do is hit start. So you'll see it says ready up here, and it's waiting for me to pass it for the first time. So I'm gonna back the camera out here where you can kind of see what's going on. I have the Bluetooth speaker here, have it turned way down. I'll show you. Turned down that far because my wife's actually homeschooling the kids in there in the kitchen right now, and she came out here fussing at me. It was so loud. So connected to the Bluetooth, it is very loud. And then one other thing with this, sometimes there's like a lag between in the Bluetooth connection. And when it names a lap off, like it may say 6.44, and because of the lag between the Bluetooth here to here, and you know, coming from there to here, you may hear like 0.44 instead of 6.44, right? So it gets your time right, but sometimes it sounds like it's not announcing it right, but it is logging it correct. I didn't have that issue without the speaker. It was calling it off pretty well with just the iPad. So if you didn't need a super loud, or let's say maybe you're running headphones or something like that connected to your phone, you would probably be okay. So just a couple things there to consider. So we'll start this up. We'll come around, and I'm just gonna, so you've seen the red light, or maybe you could see it, I could see it lit up on there. So now it's counting my lap. .31, best lap. So I don't know how well you can hear that. It just said 12.31, but to me it sounded like it said 0.31. So we'll turn it up a little bit, see what we can get away with.
15.23. 7.37, best lap.
So I don't know how you're hearing that, but to me, it's a little laggy. I'm kind of mostly hearing the 0.37, but it does show, see, my last lap was 7.37. That's my best, my average. And so let's keep going.
21.48, 4 minutes left.
So you heard that. It didn't sound like 21.48. It sounded like 1.48.
14.39. 6.61, best lap. 6.40, best lap.
Just wondering how close here.
7.07. 0.33.
See, and that sounded like 0.33, but it was 8.33, right? So that's one thing with the Bluetooth. You can turn off where it's not
left.
Going to, just like a woman interrupted me. You can turn it off to where it's not going to announce every lap. So that's probably what I would do if I was going to run needed a lot of sound, a loud speaker system to let people know what's going on. I would probably turn off the lap time announcement. For the most part, if you have 8 or 10 people running, you're probably not going to want to hear every one of those laps anyways. So that's something I would probably just turn off. And then you'll just hear the tones and you'll hear the announcement of how much time's left and that sort of thing. So you can see we got 2 minutes, 18 left. Okay, so it's coming up on a minute left. I do have this completely enclosed inside of that car. And we are...
Minute left.
1 minute left, okay. So we are 12 feet away from that now. I have that 12 feet away from where I'm gonna drive this car straight through. So we're gonna see if it'll pick up here.
$69.28.
And so it actually picked that up. It said 69.28, which is a minute 9.28 since I passed it last.
5.60.
So see, the thing there is if you're driving, I was over here just backing up.
5.01.
And it
Best
just keeps reading it, see? So that's where you want to have it, where you're just crossing it once.
lap. 3.74. Less than 1 minute left.
So you can see I'm 12 feet away there and it's picking it up just fine. Now, you do want to have...
14.44. Finished. Race complete.
Okay, so you heard it. It picked up there because I was kind of in its line of sight twice. So that's why I'm saying you're going to want to have it on, you know, an outside straight or something like that, to where looking out away from the track, to where you're not going to be passing it multiple times. But you can see here where it got all my laps. You can go through and look at all of your laps. Shows your best, your best 3, your average, top 5, all that. It's pretty cool. And then let's see, I'm pretty sure, oh, that's just my timer. I think, so like if I wanted to run a ghost on that, so it keeps a log, you can see here, of all that where I've been messing with it today. So this is my last one that I just ran, 10:25:21 at 3:25 p.m. So if I wanted to use that ghost, I can set it up and use that ghost. And right. So you would go up here, hit the ghost. So that sets up practice session 10:25. So then I can start it up here. And let's move this back. So we got it set back up over here. You're gonna hear the ghost pass in a second. You heard the ghost pass. Okay, now I'm gonna pass.
3.60.
And I'm 3.60 behind the ghost. So we're gonna wait for it. You'll hear the ghost again. Okay, there went the ghost.
That's 4.17. That's 3.68. Best lap. That's 10.78.
So right now I'm plus 10.78 of my ghost lap. So he should be passing here in a second.
4 minutes left.
Right there. And then it announced 4 minutes left. And you can just continue that.
And a 6.66.
And it tells you if you're plus or minus, you know, ahead or behind of the ghost. Plus you can listen for that ghost tone. Okay, now we're going to run the buggy with this sensor completely under the body, okay? So it's not looking out the window or anything like that. It's going to be completely under the body and see how well it picks up. Okay, so it's way over there in front of the waters. I'm over here. It's about 16 feet. if I drive straight across here, we'll see if it picks it up.
51.15.
So it did pick it up 16 feet.
115.34.
So if I keep crossing it, obviously it's going to keep picking it up. But just to show you where this thing is exactly, it's inside here, kind of buried there. So working through the paint just fine. All right, so we got Liam out here. He's lining us up. We just wanted to see how it timed 2 cars at once. We also have the ghost going. You can hear it passing. Had to put the iPad on charge, but you can hear the ghost is smoking us right now. So you ready? Let's just see how it does with both of us.
That's 85.59.
Just that.
Plus 14.93. 75.11. Plus 16.75. Plus 73.62. Plus 58.18. 3 minutes left. Plus 21.29. Plus 50.11. 41.26.
Testing its durability. I was watching you and drove right into it.
You want?
Good stuff. Okay, this stand is the only thing that's kind of aggravating.
Dad, I'm on the buggy this time.
You're running the buggy? Are you recording?
Yeah.
All right.
Oh man, this is heavy. Oh,
You're in the buggy, not the car. All right, so you've seen it in action. Didn't have any issues running both vehicles at the same time. I was trying to listen for it. Never heard it miss a lap. Every time we would come through, I would hear it make its little sound effect. And you can see, like I said, this thing, if you look hard, you won't see it on video, but I can see the little eyesight on this thing right through this window. So maybe that's lined up perfect, you know, and that's why it's reading it so well. They do show in the manual, you know, that it needs to be near like the window of a car, which this, you know, this body's like solid painted, so there is no window. It does show that, you know, it's going to work better like that, and how not to do it, which is basically how I did it. But I haven't had any issues with it picking this up. And like I said, this is buried completely under this paint, and it's always picked it up. So, you know, maybe if you have a thicker paint or something like that, you may run into issues. I'm not saying you're never going to have an issue with it, but I so far haven't. If anything, you know, if it were me and I was going to put this in one of my short course trucks or something and I was having an issue, I mean, I'd just cut a hole in the body or something. If it, you know, when I'm running around here, not really racing, you know, I'm usually running an old body anyway, so I'd hack a hole in it if I had to. But so far, no issues like that. So overall, I got to say, I really like it. It's not, you know, I don't think if I was really starting a track, this is what I would go get to run full time. It would be probably a good little backup, or, you know, if you're just getting started with a very, very small kind of home track and thinking you may want to go bigger eventually, you could probably start off with something like this, but it's definitely a great personal lap counting system, in my opinion. And, you know, for fun, I think it's going to work really well for me and, you know, a few friends or whatever if we decide to get together and run some laps. Definitely a very good system for that situation. No, if I was a professional track, you're going to go my laps. But but at that point, you're going to spend thousands of dollars. This for, you know, really $150, you can get this and a receiver or two. I will put up exactly what I've paid for everything on the screen, because with the conversion and stuff, I don't remember what it was, but not bad at all. And it works well. So if you guys have any questions on this thing, definitely let me know. Like I said, I'm limited time with it, really just because we don't have a track around here right now. So, and then we haven't really started running in the garage much yet. As winter comes on, weather stinks, we'll probably do a little drifting and that sort of thing. And it would be pretty fun, in my opinion, to throw it in some drift cars, even 1/10 scale drift cars, and just run laps with that too. So, trying to get everybody into a couple of these. We picked up another one, having a blast with these. I'll link these in the description as well. Amazon, little cars, $75. Ready to run with the remote, battery, everything. This one's dead up stock, you can see. And this one I've changed the body and wheels and tires, but a lot of fun in those. And like I said, if you have any questions, definitely let me know. I appreciate everybody watching. Don't forget the links, the Amazon, A-Main, all that helps out the channel. We'll be doing another giveaway here before too long. And any questions about this thing, let me know. I'll try my best to answer them. I appreciate everybody. Peace.